kind of, I don't know, created a love of Blackburn and the people here. And I think there's some great creative and positive minds that kind of come together when projects like this emerge from lots of different backgrounds. So that's really nice.
Well, I was coming out, I retired to redundancy into another lockdown. So when I finished in December 2020, I was expecting to do all these things and go away and do lots of stuff. But I was kind of slightly nervous about coming to a different place and meeting new people because we'd all been not meeting people for so long. I'm quite a sociable person, but even so I was a bit like, oh, I came and everybody was immediately so friendly and it was a beautiful day and it was such a lovely place to be.
It was over lockdown and it was really something to do, and it was just like there was a shout out like come down, help us clear this field and grow flax. We're going to try and grow a pair of jeans. I'm like, oh yeah, and me and my partner came down, like he dragged me down really, and then yeah, just met people, and it was just nice to be able to come when we can and like help out and stuff.
Homegrown Homespun was a project that was testing whether textiles could be grown in the north of England, i.e. Blackburn, and then turned into garments for sale commercially. At quite a small level, but they're investigating whether they could breathe new life into the industries that had once existed in this part of the world in Lancashire mill towns.
So obviously growing the flax was fairly simple actually. It was literally sowing the seed. We did a bit of weeding for the first few weeks, but it's quite a self-sufficient crop. So after 100 days, yeah, it had grown and we had a crop ready to harvest and produce our fibre from. So once we'd harvested it, it just needed processing. So extracting the fibre from the stem of the plant, and then that could then be spun and woven.
The project as originally envisaged, I suppose, has fulfilled its purpose. As pointed out, you know, a space was cleared in a arguably unpromising spot in the middle of Blackburn, and flax was grown, and the flax produced linen, and the linen produced fabric, and one piece of fabric that was produced was the first piece of denim to be produced in over 100 years in this neck of the woods in that manner. And then a traditional garment called a kurta, as I understand it, was made, and it's now can be seen in Blackburn Museum. And so it demonstrates that if you want to produce garments in a homegrown, homespun way, you can do that.
In terms of the community aspect, it continues to evolve. While it would have been great to maybe go down a catwalk wearing a pair of homegrown homespun jeans, it wasn't possible at the end of the day. But we've moved on. The site that we're on now is perhaps going to become a community orchard. There's other groups that continue to use the site. This site was disused and abused over a long period of time. It's had new life breathed into it, and that's what we're hoping to continue to do.
I never really thought about where clothes come from and like how wasteful it can be and like how much effort it takes to make clothing, how much time is involved as well, and what the cost is to people as well, like to be paid to make clothes, things like that. So yeah, it does make you think about like your purchases and stuff like that, yeah.
I think I was always I would like to think I was a reasonably conscious consumer before the project, but it's made me a lot more aware and interested as well in where fibres come from and also how they break down when we've finished using them. And so that's made me look a lot more at labels if I am buying something new, and also careful where I buy things from. So I would say most definitely.
I agree. Most definitely. It's what was the question? It's raised my awareness. I suppose in terms of all of those things that Annie's mentioned, in terms of sustainability, it's looking at the garment industry, looking at the fashion industry in terms of what impact it has environmentally. And if you compare that with a garment that you might buy on the high street, it's going to be naturally dyed, of course. It's going to be dyed with stuff that's produced from plants around us. So if you compare that with a garment in the high street, not only does that garment use tons of carbon with its raw materials and its finished product, etc., being transported all over the world. Synthetic indigo dye is I am told, the most polluting of dyes, and of course lots and lots and lots of it is produced to produce jeans, and everyone wears jeans quite casually and so on and so forth. So anything that makes people think there's a different way of doing it, and doing it that different way is great.
I knew nothing about flax or growing flax or processing flax before I started this project, so it's definitely kind of sparked an enthusiasm in me to kind of grow my knowledge and skills within that sector as well, obviously building on what I already knew from my sort of past career.
I think if you get involved in a community, it makes you look at your own community differently, I think. And personally, seeking out other opportunities, it's made me do that. I've done tree planting. I'm always on the lookout for local calls in the area, things I can do. I'm quite fortunate that I live on the edge of a green belt, so there's always lots of woodland activities and things going on in my neck of the woods, and I avail myself of those opportunities when they arise.
It's made me more open-minded people because my volunteering with Supersoil, it has led on to like a job, so like a little career for me as well, where I do talk more with like a wider number of people and stuff from different backgrounds and things like that. And like recently I've been helping like a lady who's a bit visually impaired to do gardening here and stuff like that, which I'd never done before, but you know, get along and stuff. And even like kids, like getting them interested in planting and things here around the field and stuff like that.
Kind of one of my background hobbies when I started was natural dyeing, so I've very much been spurred on to kind of spend more time gaining more knowledge in that practice, and that has also opened up opportunities for me to give that knowledge to other people as well through workshops that I've done within this local community as well. Things like that has very much kind of, I don't know, created a love of Blackburn and the people here, and I think there's some great creative and positive minds that kind of come together when projects like this emerge from lots of different backgrounds, so that's really nice.
I think my favourite part was probably seeing the field itself in full bloom, because the amount of wildlife that was attracted to it, like ladybirds, dragonflies and stuff, that was really interesting to see that we had like this crop that used to be widely grown for like thread and stuff like that, and it was just really interesting to see like how that was doing quite a bit for wildlife, probably compared to a lot of other things that are grown here.
Summertime, we've got planting day right the way through to August, just that journey from April to August, and getting involved and getting your hands dirty and actually feeling like you're doing something that's worthwhile. That would be my favourite part, the favourite outcome for me.
I think that the very first harvest day was a really special day. Like the weather was perfect, the community all came together as one to kind of harvest this crop as like an effort, and it kind of, I suppose, resonated with everybody, because this is what our ancestors would have been doing, you know, hundreds of years ago. Whether it be flax or food crops, the whole community would have come together and kind of helped to get the job done. So yeah, it was really nice to almost be kind of replicating history in that respect.
No, I have no regret. No, I don't know. Don't think so, no.
No. No regrets, ever. That's my mantra. Thank you.
As Scott Walker once said, no regrets.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay.